2 weeks in on this cut, I'm down about 4 pounds. That's a decent pace for me. This week, I'm gonna drop my calories a little bit lower. And in this episode, we're gonna talk a ton about training. Obviously, if you're trying to lose predominantly fat, you should be doing a lot of resistance training. So that being said, there are a couple key principles that I'm gonna sprinkle throughout this video that you can use when you're in a fat loss phase that will help preserve a ton of muscle mass. Let's get into it. Shit. Okay, since I started powerlifting, which I'm taking a little break from obviously now to thin up a little bit and do something different, but I was doing peak sets and then I was going down. So I'd do like one heavy set, then I'd go down by about 10%, try to get the same amount of reps, and I did that. So I'm following the same basic structure where more or less I'll do like a heavy set, harder than the last time I squatted, higher than the last peak set, go down 10%. If I can still get 10 reps, more than 10 reps, I stay at that weight, get it for another set. Stay at that weight, get it for another set. So I went 380, and then 340 for 11. I did 380 for 10, 340 for 11, 340 for 11, 340 for 10. And I wanted to get 4 sets, I did. So that's kind of how I'm auto-regulating. That way, no set's easy. Not one set is easy. I'm soaked in sweat. My legs are freaking cooked. And I know that I pushed myself hard enough because I had an Rpe of about 9 on all of those sets. So I don't know if that's the best for beginners and intermediates. After you've been under the barbell for 4, 5, 6 years, in my case, 10 years, then you can start this auto-regulation. You have a pretty good idea what a hard set means. Most people do not. So that's how I'm structuring my set. And now I gotta catch my breath. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially when they're cutting, is that they don't have any familiarity of exercise. It's good to vary your exercises up for sure, but at some point in some certain segments, let's say 6 weeks, 8 weeks long, you need to have some familiarity. So you need to pick 5 or 6 exercises that you're gonna do consistently at least once a week, so you can try to make progress on that exercise. You're revisiting enough to know whether or not you're making progress. So in reality, I'm only doing 6 exercises consistently every single week. Then I have fun with my program after that. I'm doing a slight incline barbell bench press, a barbell row, overhead press, pull-ups, squat, and deadlift. Something that's new for me, but I was really interested to try it out. It was actually at the recommendation of watching Greg Doucette's channel, and that's a slightly inclined bench press. So how I normally do it and how I see most people do it is about 45 degrees, but I brought that way back to try to actually build an upper chest. I noticed that my shoulders look okay and my chest looks okay, but I really don't have an upper chest. So per his advice on his channel, I'm trying a slight incline barbell bench press. Again, that's Greg Doucette's channel. There's something to be said about years of experience. The guy is a world champ in the bench press, so obviously he knows something about increasing strength and musculature. One thing that's obviously a problem for a lot of people right now, they don't have access to the equipment that they normally have, naturally, me either. All I have here is 400 pounds. Yes, I can get a absolute killer upper body workout 400 pound a plate, but not much for my posterior chain, especially if I've already done Romanian deadlifts. I've already done staggered stance Romanian deadlifts. So this is where the Rpe scale shines. I've talked about it before. Let's talk about it a little bit now. Rate of perceived exertion, or reps in reserve, they're just two different sides of the same thing. So if you know you're running out of weight, what you can do is take it to 1 or 2 reps shy of failure, and it's still gonna deliver a hard stimulus to the muscle. As I was editing this video, I realized I didn't actually make an outro, so let's get to that. First and foremost, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I also do cardio. I do low intensity steady state, usually just walking. I do it on a trail, I do it outside. Couple reasons. Number one, yes, it does burn more calories. Obviously, if you can burn more calories and you're in a calorie deficit, you can lose fat faster. Second reason is because of recovery. I do think that low intensity steady state cardio is excellent for recovery. That being said, you can also do other forms of cardio, and I think that there's some validity to that, but for now, what I'm doing is low intensity steady state, just like a walk. That's basically what low intensity steady state cardio is. So now let's kind of wrap it up, and I'll go over the actual tangible points of this vlog and the things that you can use to help you lose body fat. The first one, as I mentioned, out of the gate, you need to be doing some sort of resistance training. Although I think most of the people watching this video already know that. So the second thing you need to do is have some sort of exercise familiarity. Pick 4 to 6 exercises that you like to do that hit a lot of muscle mass. Ideally, some type of compound exercise, whether it's a squat, a deadlift, even something like a lunge, some other type of press. I already went over the exercise that I chose, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the exercises that you choose, but have some sort of familiarity. Also, that familiarity makes it so you're actually limited by your strength and your muscle mass and not limited by always having to relearn the technique. Another takeaway is that you actually do have to train fairly hard. I mean, it took a lot to build the muscle. You want to preserve it, so you need to bring it maybe not as hard as when you're in a calorie surplus, but you need to actually train pretty hard if you want to maintain and hopefully even build a little bit of muscle mass. And lastly, if you're doing this on your own, you don't have a coach or anything, make sure you're listening to your body. If you realize that your strength is really dipping quick, maybe you're doing too much volume, or maybe you're not actually recovering enough between workouts. Maybe your calorie deficit is a little too low. So again, use all of those principles that I mentioned, but also listen to the feedback that your body is giving you. Don't just run with it and try to run through a brick wall, because that's how you get hurt. And if you get hurt, then obviously you can't be in the gym. So what's coming up is I'm actually going to take a diet break. I've been reading a lot about it, and I figured I'd want to try it. I have tried it with some of my clients. They have had success with it. Now I'm gonna try it for myself. So I will document that entire thing. It will be a vlog style video, probably a little bit shorter, because it's just gonna be basically how I go about a diet break. Again, with a diet break, you don't wanna gain body fat. You just kind of want to gain your energy back so you can continue to hit it hard in the gym and facilitate further fat loss while preserving as much muscle mass as you can. So that's what's coming up. That's what I'm going to try next. If this is your first time seeing this series, I will link the first video right here. That is the first episode of Quarantine Cuts, appropriately named, I thought. If you already saw episode 1, I'll put a video right here, right below it, that's about how to use MyFitnessPal to lose weight. So again, if you like this video, please like the video. If you're interested in following our content, please subscribe. I'm Alex Wallace from Wallace Training Systems, and thanks for watching.